one of the things that like guys like Sam Harris will talk about a lot is that like, look, we need trust in institutions. And this is his big thing where he goes, these people like Joe Rogan and Dave Smith are just tearing down the institutions. And while I recognize that's an issue, I also think we need trust in these institutions.
That's a good Sam Harris.
Well, it's like, yeah, but what? Yeah, well, if you talk in that tone, then it means you're not being emotional and you're only being logical and rational.
Dave Smith went on Lex Fridman's podcast and absolutely annihilated this woke idiot Sam Harris. Dave Smith is becoming one of my favorite, not really even becoming, he has been for a while one of my favorite political commentators out there. The guy just speaks the truth. It seems like basically every single thing that he says, I fully agree with. In terms of the problems, a lot of times his solutions to the problems that we both acknowledge are a little bit different, but at least he's not afraid to acknowledge the clear problems that many other people, especially right-wingers, are scared to acknowledge. There's many things that he'll call out that right-wingers are not willing to call out, and that's what I love about Dave Smith so much. But in this clip here, he absolutely annihilates Sam Harris, the woke idiot, for his attacks against Dave Smith. Let's check it out.
Sam Harris kind of like criticized me a little bit for not having the credentials to talk about some of this stuff, which, like I even said, okay, he's got a point. But it's like one of the things that like guys like Sam Harris will talk about a lot is that like, look, we need trust in institutions. And this is his big thing where he goes, these people like Joe Rogan and Dave Smith are just tearing down the institutions. And while I recognize that's an issue, I also think we need trust in these institutions.
That's a good Sam Harris.
Well, it's like, yeah, but what? Yeah, well, if you talk in that tone, then it means you're not being emotional and you're only being logical and rational, which is like, I actually don't think is appropriate when you're talking about a child rapist ring. But whatever. That's my take on it. But it's like, okay, so where are these institutions I'm supposed to trust, man? You're telling me there's a pedophile ring that is at least in some degree associated with national security. Like, what? And how could you possibly have this story? Like, if you did care about the trust in institutions, then you should be even louder than me talking about, like, you got to tell the truth on this story. Otherwise, we'll never have trust in these institutions.
I'm the same, actually. I believe in institutions. Like, I think they have value. So this is where you and I probably disagree on the libertarian side. I think institutions, if they're run efficiently, can... Right?
Who's the utopian now?
That's right. I mean, there is a utopian notion to it, for sure. But because it's very possible that bureaucracies always destroy the productivity and the effectiveness of institutions. It's possible.
It's a Lord Atkin kind of power corrupts type deal.
And you're absolutely right. If you believe in institutions, you should want to release everything about Epstein. You should want to be transparent as much as possible. Yeah, but the one thing and it is very suspicious. So I'm more and more becoming convinced that there's some intelligence agency connected to it. But I also want to...
Of course there is. And look, I understand it's his job and everything, for Dave Smith to talk about this kind of stuff. But I respect these people so much who are able to constantly hammer on stuff like the list that should be revealed and things like that. Just hammer it and hammer it and hammer it. Because me personally, I'm just like, I know we're never getting that list, so I'm not going to just keep asking for the list over and over again. I don't care anymore. Like, to be honest with you, I know we're never getting the list. I know these people are evil, evil people. I know this already. And that I'm just blackpilled on it. It's like, I know we're never getting the list. I know that stuff's still going to go on behind the scenes. I know these people are really, really bad people, and they're running the country. They're running the world. I know this. And it's just a black pill because I just think there's nothing we can really do about it. I mean, what are we going to do? We can cry about it on social media. We can hammer them and keep asking for it like Dave Smith is doing. But like in reality, like nothing's going to be accomplished. I respect it because it's waking people up. But ultimately, what is waking people up going to even do? We're still never going to get the list. We're still never going to expose these people. If anybody does try to come out and talk, they're just going to be killed. That's just what's going to keep happening. So I'm just blackpilled on the whole thing. I respect people that can continue to not be blackpilled.
Like, setting that aside, just comment on one thing where, again, it's super entertaining, but people say about me that I came out of nowhere. And that's proof that I'm intelligence. So first of all, there is a track record of where I came from, quote unquote. It's just people are too lazy. Yeah. And there is something sexy about like just saying fucking Mossad. Oh, he's denying it. Fucking Mossad.
Yeah.
By the way, the Mossad thing is a new thing. It used to be FSB and CIA. what do I want to say about that? Oh yeah, I've been gradually growing in popularity over the past 10 years. I've been doing interviews, lectures, podcasts, and they've been it's actually very gradual. And I don't know what
Well,
else
there's a
to say.
difference. There's something, and I know I've experienced this too, right? Like, there's such a difference in perspective because, like, if somebody just found me and they just found out who I am,
Yeah.
and they go, "This guy's brand new and he's
Yeah,
doing
what the
like all
fuck?
these
Exactly,
shows," but you're like, "Yeah, well, I don't know, dude. Not from my perspective. I'm not brand new. Like, dude, I've been doing stand-up comedy for 19 years, and I've been podcasting for like 15 years." And you're like, and then when it like starts taking off, everybody's like, "Oh, this guy just came out of nowhere." And you're like, I mean, all right, I wish I had been aware that it was all this quick. But look, a lot of this stuff with so much of this too, it's just laziness and people searching for confirmation bias and people searching for a simpler story because that's easier. So if they believe that Epstein was Mossad and there's a clip of you where you're like, I don't know about that, then they go, see, he's Mossad too. And now that fits perfectly into my little story. I don't know. The truth is that it's quite possible that people just aren't convinced. However, given enough time, Tim Dillon is always right about everything.
That's true.
So you got to eventually you'll have to admit that he got it right.
Yeah, I don't think Lex Fridman is intelligent or anything like that. I just think he's incredibly boring, and I would never ever watch him unless it's a clip from a person who I actually enjoy watching, like this Dave Smith interview. I mean, no real offense to Lex Fridman. I don't really care that much. Like, I don't have anything against the guy. I just think he's extremely boring, and I will never ever watch one of his podcasts. But I don't think he's intelligent or anything like that. I think those are just kind of memes, to be honest, that he's taken a little bit too personally.
And not to say the cliche cheesy thing, but it is true that the comedians sometimes say the obvious thing that people are a little resistant to say. That ends up being true. Now we just landed some more credibility to Tim Dillon's insanity. Great. Now I do want to comment on there's the other aspect of me that came out of nowhere. Fine, but I do get to talk to world leaders, which I have to really admit I don't understand why. So the experience I've had is you basically gain a reputation. Like, I talked to a lot of scientists early on. You gain a reputation like that. This is a interesting person to talk to, and that travels. And then over time, you get fans, and world leaders are humans too. Like, they listen to this stuff, and sometimes it's their family that listens.
Yeah, oftentimes, right? Like their kids, it seems to be a big one.
And so, that's just how it happens. And so you sent an email, hey, you want to talk? And then their team or them directly, in several cases, they just respond, yeah. And then that's it. It's as simple as that. And they're human beings. And I think
Anybody else incredibly bored right now? Like, I'm sorry, I don't want to be mean, but like, I don't give a shit, Lex. Like, let Dave talk, please. I don't care, bro. Like, oh man, I don't want to be too much of an asshole. I'm sorry. Like, I understand. Like, I used to like be way more unhinged because I didn't think anybody would see this, and then people started seeing it, started to feel kind of bad. But like, dude, this guy can make anything sound boring. Holy shit.
I think a lot of them, as human beings, are exhausted by journalists, but shitty journalists, I should say. And it's hard for them to know which is the good journalist. By good, there's the cynical view that they want somebody who's just going to spout propaganda that's aligned with their propaganda. No, they just want a good faith person in front of them. Now, like, and I should also say that no single world leader has told me which questions to ask. There's this meme about my conversation with Modi that's like scripted. Nope. There was zero oversight. I have full control.
Well, it's also like there's, I mean, obviously one of the major dynamics, which is just like one of the most interesting kind of themes in the world, I think, right now, but it's particularly true in America, is that like the corporate media is just shrinking and shrinking and shrinking. And this, whatever this is, which is so weird that we still all call them podcasts, because that's just not the right name for them at all. And none of us have had an iPod in quite a long time. And like, I don't know, it's just such a, like, the first thing person came up with it. It's a cast on an iPod. It's a podcast. And we all still use that term.
Yeah, I'll agree with Dave Smith 100%. And I'm sure most of you will agree as well. that there is no institutions that you can trust. Like I said, I'm completely black-pilled on all of them. I don't trust literally any of them. I know they're all evil. And, you know, I'm glad we still have Dave Smith and people like that out there to keep banging on about releasing those lists and things like that, because maybe we get somebody in office who eventually wants to release that stuff. If Donald Trump's not doing it, I don't know if anybody's going to ever do it, to be honest with you. I would bet no. And I would think that if we do get somebody in office who's willing to do it, they probably get JFK'd. You know, like I don't think there's any actual chance of anything getting released ever and anything really changing ever. Our world is run by evil people. Just understand the rules, operate within them, and, you know, don't give in your personal life. But in terms of saving the world and changing the world, it's not going to happen, man. I'm completely black-pilled on it. Let me know in the comments, though, what you guys think about Dave Smith putting that woke idiot Sam Harris into his place. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about this whole Dave Smith versus Sam Harris on Lex Fridman's podcast situation.